Yo, what's going on again, guys? Jake Bros Gaming Central back at the game with another video, and today we'll be talking about battlegrounds and where are the best places to drop. Let's get straight into it. So what I noticed is a lot of people go on the internet and look up PlayeruknownsBattleGrounds battlegrounds, map layout, best places to drop, that sort of things. But it's usually the new players that are looking at that, and when the new players look at that, yeah, it shows them where all the good loot is, but doesn't kind of even it out where all the players go to. So you can go to the best place where all the good loot is, but you can get killed in the first 10 seconds. And when I do say that, I am mainly talking about military base, and I'll kind of get more into that. But I have 200 hours into this game, like 5 duo wins, no solos because I rarely ever play solo, and 2 squad wins, I think. And so I have a decent amount of experience. I wanted to show you where I drop, and in your opinion, what you might think is the best place to drop, and I kind of want to point it out, and also show you how many people will usually be dropping there. Okay, so just to start it off, as far as dropping there, it depends what mode you're playing. Squads, if you're to go someplace like Pachinki or military base, there's going to be a lot more people. There's going to be less squads, but a lot more people, because the smart squads usually go to the same place. Now, let's just say, when solos, if 3 people are going to Pachinki, only 3 people thought, hey, let's go to Pachinki. But let's say in squads, let's say if 12 people go to Pachinki, that's just three mindsets of going to Pachinki. Since it's only 3 squads, there's usually one person making the decision. So it's very capable. More people go into those populated areas, the more people you have on your team. If that makes any sense to you, if you want me to go more in depth, just leave a comment down below and I'll do that for you. Anyways, so let's just get into it. So we got our massive map. I think it's 8 kilometers by 8 kilometers squared, and we got some highlights I'll point out, and yeah, let's go straight to it. We got military base, we got Milta Power, we got Lipovoka, we got Crater, we got Yasma Pollyanna, we got school and the apartments, we got gun range, we got Georgia Paul, we got Georgia Paul's little warehouses, and we got Primorsk. Now those, and also Novo, which is to the right of a military base. And let me talk to you a little about each place and whether you should go there and why you shouldn't, what circumstances should you go there or why you shouldn't go there at that time. So let's just do multipower. And now this always depends on the trajectory of the plane. It can always be different, which is kind of hard to make a video on this, but I'm going to do my best. So with multipower, there is a car spawn there, so in case there's too many people go there, you can easily switch your mind and just grab a car on the road and try to get out there as best you can. But most of the time, not a lot of people go multipower. I think the main reason is just because it's on the edge of the map. Like, the odds of you being in the circle is just very low. So I would see the plane trajectory. If it's going right over it, I would pass. But let's say if it's going like a little bit to the side, maybe just like half a kilometer to a kilometer to the side, I think you'll be safe there. And yeah, I'll try for it. Because multipower is very rewarding. It has very low loot. I wouldn't recommend going there in a squad. I would rather go to a town. But duos and solos most definitely go to multipower if you're 1.5 kilometer away or somewhere around that range away from it. Because if you're going right over it, there's going to be a buttload of people. Let's move on to our next town, Novo. Novo is actually a pretty cool town to go to, just because a lot of people who drop on, I think it says Nofuka, I don't know, that just sounded weird, island. A lot of people just go military base and don't bother with Nova, and Nova is actually a really good place to drop. There's a lot of loot for everybody in case there's other teams. You can try to avoid them, get your guns. But unless you're going right over the island, there's going to be a lot of people. But unless it's going from a north-south position. And if you look at the map here, on the top of the map where E1 is, that's north. And then south is, 8E. Now, if it's going from 1E to 8E, you actually have a good chance, even though it's going right over the base. First off, the last people standing probably are just waiting there, either to be AFK or go to military base. But if you really want to play it smart, you can go to Novo in that time, and you can just have maybe the whole town to yourself, or one squad, or 2 squads or less. I don't usually find that much in that, unless, again, if it's an actual squad where you have 4 players, there's going to be a good amount of people there. And then let's get to a military base. Military base, so, guys, if you're a new player and you're watching this video, don't go to military base. Wait till you get good. Go to places like Pachinki if you want those gunfights, and just try to get better, because when you go to Pachinki and that sort of stuff, it kind of brings up your skill and gets you ready for military base. But if you don't have to, but what I am going to say, did not totally bash military base, is let's say you're coming at a trajectory of A4 to H4, so you're basically going horizontally across the map. I would drop down. Don't go straight for military base. Just go straight for a car. And this is the time where you actually want to look at the loot map and look for car spawns. And try to get those cars and head straight over to military base. And if you do that correctly, you can have military base either all to yourself, or just you're going to be by yourself for 2 minutes before more people come there. It's kind of a first one gets there sort of thing. So let's talk about Primorsk. Now, Primorsk, I don't know. I have up and down feelings. I used to actually really like it, but now I just don't really want to go to it. Because there's actually, usually when I play duos, which I mostly play, there's either 1 or 2 squads, others, they're coming with us. And that, to be honest, that's not a problem. We usually kill them all. But I feel like 1 out of 10 houses, you'll actually get something good. Like, the house rating is just very bad. And even though it is a high loot spot, I still feel like I can loot houses and still come up with something if I were just to loot 1 lucky house. It doesn't kind of give you that consistent reward. And again, that's just a part of looting. But I just don't like the way Primorska's loot setup. But it's always a good setup if you want to boat over to military base after. It does have a boat spawn there and a bunch of car spawns. And if you and your squad, it's perfect for squads. But duos and solos, I just wouldn't. Now, I know, surprisingly, Pachinki is not recommended as a high loot spawn. But Pachinki, I love Pachinki just because depending on what your playstyle is, if it's passive, you'll live. If it's aggressive, you'll have a 30% chance of living with a high reward at the end of it. But Pachinki is a very great town because its loot is great, and there's so many buildings, so not everyone's going for the same one as if it was Military Power or Military Base where there's only so many buildings. Pachinki, it has everything for everybody. So, for school, very, very populated, a lot like military base, and basically I would just give it the same name as military base if you're going above it or below it at a horizontal speed, a little bit far away from like 2 kilometers plus away. I would just drop down, try to find a car, and go to it. So, that's kind of my say on that, unless you got a good squad going with you, but I'm most thinking if new players will only be looking at this. If you're an experienced player, try it out. Try to get some more skill level up and that sort of stuff. Yasma Polyana, I want to make this short. Very good. A lot of buildings, a lot of loot for everybody. Kind of like a apartment version of Pachinki. Highly recommend it. Lipovoka, don't recommend really any loot. I just find me searching a bunch of buildings and finding nothing at the end. And you can always get lucky with every building. I just find it to be a small place, and the odds of you being in the circle are very low. That's one thing nice about school, Pachinki, Polyana, and those sort of places, is you're most likely going to always be in the middle of the circle. Now, Georgia Paul, I gotta say, I'm a massive fan of Georgia Paul, because there's just so many loot. And I don't like going to the warehouse side at all. I like going to the apartment side, just choosing my apartments, get in it. I usually get a gun, and I scat. It's so good on loot, and there's so much for everybody. It's like a Pachinki times 2 apartment version. And yeah, and let's move on to our last one, and that's gun range. And gun range is actually, there's always going to be an air squad going to it. I rarely ever find any guns there. you're always going to find one gun, but that one gun probably won't be handed to you. It'll probably be handed to the enemy. So, like I said, unless you're like 3 kilometers plus away from it, you can try to find a car, maybe 2 kilometers. And yeah. And also, one last thing, this isn't actually marked on the map, but there's these hidden bunkers. A lot of people know about them, but they're actually very, very cool. If you can actually manage to get to them, a lot of players do know them, so don't think it's totally hidden. But if you want to take your chances, but with a hybrid ward, I would definitely recommend going bunkers over some chances like a military base and pachinki and school and that sort of stuff. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I kind of hope I helped you out on choosing where to drop. I apologize for the long video, but this had to be done, and I hope you guys all get that sweet chicken dinner like we always wanted. So yeah, I'll see you next time, and yeah, stay frosty. Peace, and like and subscribe.